You finally have your hammock hung and you're all excited for your first class. The first thing that you may notice is, oh my God, why does that hurt so much? Even though it looks graceful, there's a little bit of pain getting started with anything in aerial arts, whether it's in our hammock, on our silk, in lira, or perhaps pole. I've been poling for 6 years and there's still certain parts of my body, like the creases of my elbows, that I can't seem to just condition because I can't get over the pain. The first time I did a Superman pose on pole, I saw stars. But now I do it all the time without any pain. Now, if you're only practicing maybe once a week or every other week, you'll always be in pain. It's not enough time in our apparatus for us to get our skin conditioned and those pain receptors to calm down. My goal is to give you a short sequence that we can do, especially if you're just getting started or coming back to the practice, where we can work on conditioning our skin and those pain receptors, work on a little bit of strength and awareness in our body and where we are in our fabric, and some of the common poses that you'll see in most of, at least my classes. I want you to set your hammock to the height of the hip flexors, so if you're standing on your toes, comes right to that hip crease so that we can take it into a safe inversion. Now get your hammock set and let's work on conditioning that skin. I will link in the description below some of the low flow style of classes I have, which are, to me, pain-free and all about being delicious. We'll get started by bringing the fabric up and over. Just come behind the shoulder blades and step back. We want to create a long line here, so draw the navel in and extend the tailbone down. Hands come behind the head. Take a nice breath in, and on the exhale, arch over the fabric. Elbows can come in towards the ears. Inhale, lift the gaze. Widen the elbows. Again, arch over and come up. One more time, arch over the fabric, hold here. Let the weight of your head fall into your hands. And just imagine tractioning the neck here by gently pulling your hands away from your shoulders. Lift the gaze. Arms will come out to the side, bend the knees, float through, coming into a little floating mountain. Bend the knees, come back, try extending the arms overhead. And again, float forward and back. Bend the knees and come right underneath your plumb line. Bring the fabric up and over. I want you to catch the back of the right knee. You're behind the knee crease. Lift up onto that left heel and come forward. I want you to take a nice stretch for the hips here. You can walk both hands over to the right side. Maybe look over your right shoulder. Squeeze and engage the glutes. Active left thigh. Coming back to center and kick into the heel. Foot is flexed. Stand nice and tall. Draw the right hip back. Right foot is flexed. Pull the fabric towards you and extend the heart forward. Just want to give a little warm up. One more breath. And roll your way up. Removing that right foot. Getting ready for the left. Back of that knee crease, yes. Lift your right heel. Come forward. First lunge, squeeze that right glute. I'm gonna come across with both hands, so left pole. Look over the shoulder if you want. Back to center. With a flexed left foot, kick through. Stand nice and tall, flex the left foot, and pull the heart forward. Pull that left hip back, try not to let it lead. All right, bend that left knee, remove the foot. Wrist wrap, arms come through the outside and around the middle. Extend the heart forward, breathe in. Exhale, roll your way up. Couple rounds of undulating through the spine, just like a cat-cow. Inhale for the forward, exhale to release and roll up. Twice more. Last time. and roll your way up. All right, I hope you're ready. Challenging pose number 1, downward facing dog. Create a little bar coming up onto the hip flexors. Walk to the front end of the mat and fold in half. You can release and swing. Downward facing dog. Actively push the ground away with your hands and flex the feet. So I want you to focus on creating a length in your backside. Pull the ribs in. No tension here in the neck, so if you need to do a little shake, yes or no. We just need to spend a little bit of time here. And then we can start enjoying our practice. Release down towards your plumb line. Hands can stay on the floor. Widen your legs. You want to take a flexed foot to the front of the fabric. This is your wrapped down dog. Walk your hands back and press your chest through. Give me that active press of your feet into the fabric. Yes, I'm feeling it in my hip flexors. But it will get better. I promise. If you like this pose and you've been here before a couple times, maybe try swinging a bit from side to side. You'll feel it in your core. All right, and lift your gaze. Unwrap your feet. You can come back into your downward dog. If you're feeling ready to just hang, which is something that I actually really enjoy, you can ragdoll the arms, cross the ankles, and just be here. If this is a bit much still, come into your downward dog. We're just going to hold for 2 more breaths. You want to think about your practice in wearing very tight compressive pants, which will make that little pinch factor a little easier on you. Lift the gaze, hands to the floor, walk forward to come up and out. All right, as you come out, sometimes this feels good. We'll give those hip flexors a break. Come back into that little lunge. So right leg first, catch the back of the knee crease, lifting the left heel, come forward into your lunge. From here, grabbing onto poles to the right, maybe reach your right hand behind you. Squeeze your left thigh. Come back to center. Slide your way back underneath that plumb line. Catching the right heel, foot is flexed, hips are square. This time let's do a push. I'm going to push the fabric away, coming to my end range. And you can take this deeper by just kind of pointing and flexing the foot. Flex the foot and hold. And release. And second side. Remove that foot. Left leg comes in. Lift that right heel and control. So this does take a little bit of core work here. Chest is lifted. Squeeze the pelvis forward. Both hands to the left. I like to reach, right? So go a little bit deeper. Press the pelvis forward. And back up. Pull yourself back. Flex the left foot as you set up. Left hip pulls back. Push into your fabric, right? Come to your end. Whatever that end range is. Start with your little flosses. Point and flex the foot. Flex and hold. And release. Left foot to the floor. Getting ready, we've had a little break for those hip flexors, so creating your bar, come forward, downward facing dog. Push the mat away with your hands, flex the feet. Long and strong through the legs, through the heels, rib cage pulls in. Relax any tension in the neck here. So I want you to be able to get comfortable and start really feeling into the pose, thinking less about pain and more about what you're experiencing. lengthening and tractioning the spine. One more breath. Find your way back underneath the plumb line. And release the hands, reach out for the fabric. So your palms are facing out. From here, I want you to walk up the fabric. Again, our goal here is to get into the hip flexors. Squeeze and engage your glutes. Heart is nice and open. Just breathe. Gaze is down. This is our front balance. All right, and we're right in that spot where we need it the most. Give it one more breath. Exhale, take your time, slide through the fabric, come down. Hands to the mat, lift your gaze, walk forward. Come up and out. How we doing? And getting ready now for our back straddle. Bring the fabric behind you, come up onto the toes. Come right to the sacrum. You should be able to hinge back, catch that little shelf. Knees wide, all right? So come right into that straddle, cross in front. Just take a moment here. Pull the rib cage together. If you're swinging, backs of the hands can come to the floor to help you stop. Right? So I don't find this necessarily very painful, but I also would want you to get used to just being upside down. Sometimes our proprioception and where we are in space is a little more confusing when we're upside down versus right side up. But we are going to take this into a circus sit, which unfortunately is the painful part. If you've never seen it before, we're gonna tuck the knees in. So I want you to come to the backs of the knee creases. Breathe in, exhale, find the fabric, crunch up. Walk your hands up the fabric and widen your legs. This is your circus sit. Yes, it's one of the more painful ones. Once you get your thighs conditioned, things like coming into maybe a spiral wrap would be a little more tolerable. You can also do this if you want, bending in the knees. See if you can hold strong with me for just a couple more breaths. My goal eventually is to take you out of pain, not put you in pain. One more breath. Bending in the knees. We come out the way we came in. Hands slide down the fabric, knees pull together. All the way back to where we started. Take a moment here to breathe. That's the tough one. I find circus sit to be painful if I don't practice it regularly. Hands are gonna come up onto the fabric right over your thighs. Little ab crunch up. Release the feet, come up halfway. Then place your feet on the floor, catch the back of your shoulders. You can rest your forehead on your hands. Just take a moment to become accustomed to being right side up. Walking back with the feet. Come right underneath the plumb line. Catch the elbows and fold. Wiggle your fingers here from all the gripping. Maybe shake the head, yes or no. Roll up and catch the shoulders again. Bend the knees. Just like we did in our warm-up, I want you to create that nice long spine and step your feet as wide, if not slightly wider than your mat. Hands behind the head, bend the left, and roll into a side stretch. So just hold the head here, and then bend the right, straighten the left, roll to the other side. Just move at your own pace. One continuous movement from one side over to the other. Enjoy the fabric as it supports you. Come back to center, arch over. Head is fully supported. Lifting up, hands are going to come to those poles. Heel toe the feet together. And roll your way up. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, bring them into heart center. Close your eyes. And open. And there you have it. I told you it'd be quick. Remember, if you're struggling with pain, try this maybe once or twice a week on top of a regular practice so that we can help get you more conditioned so that you can enjoy your practice. Make sure you check out the tutorials and the playlist on the channel, and I hope I see you there. Namaste.